My God, if we keep this up, we'll never be hungry again. Stephen, Margaret, come over here. I think I found something. This is the story of the Green Vault. Vaults in Mojave Wasteland were known for civilizations, but this one was populated by scientists. Vault 22 was inhabited by scientists. Their job was to create the staples of eradicating world hunger when it came to the Great War. And while the Great War was happening, the bombs were dropping, they were focusing on creating growth. Ways to rejuvenate after the population and the radiation, to bring back plants, growth, green. They were known as the Green Vault. If Vault 22 was successful, we'd be talking fresh water, fresh food, fresh oxygen to everyone in the Mojave. So this needed to be a success. So as you, the courier, embark on a mission to the new California Republic, you're introduced to this guy named Dr. Thomas. He wants you to look for some kind of research, and he's asked a couple of couriers to do it beforehand, but they've gone missing. He gives you little to no information apart from that, telling you, can you please prioritize this information and bring it back to me now?
This really isn't any of my business, but did he give you a job?
Well, it turns out that sneaky bastard didn't tell us that some of them might be dead because the beauty, which is Angela Williams.
About a week ago, there was a scientist, Keely. She's unusual. Not the sort of person you'd expect.
She asks you that one of her friends, known as Keely, has gone on a recent adventure for this dock and hasn't returned. Can we find him? Can we find her? It? So of course, Doc doesn't tell us a small detail, but we go regardless. And as we enter, stay out is printed on the side. Greenery as you enter this ginormous vault. It's quite warm and welcoming, knowing that you're in the Mojave Desert, and now you can smell the grass. On my first playthrough, it is literally like smelling grass for the first time. You see this and you're like, I have never seen a tree before in Fallout. And as you walk in, you see a terminal on the left. I'm hacking into the monitor screen. And on there is 2 entries from Keely. This is my Keely impression because I don't know what they look like yet. I'm sorry.
I've established a temporary camp inside the entrance of the vault. Power inside is mineral, but running. But I've managed to hack into other security terminals. The log shown here is from several people who entered the vault over the past months, but none of them are left. It's getting late, so I'm gonna resume the expedition in the morning.
Whew. Keely. There's another.
It's a little surprising, given the security of the sunlight in the entrance room, but it's more surprising that it seems to originate from further down below. Maybe a fool, a Hilden, or something after all, since my Pip-Boy is on the fritz. I'll try and log my discoveries wherever I can before leaving.
So Keely is clearly on a mission, and it's our job now to figure out what is going on with Vault 22. What is the story behind this? And it gets darker the more and more we look into it. Walking through the vault, we're introduced to a few levels. We have the option of the stairs, or behind us, if our repair is good enough, we have the elevator. First floor, which is the entrance floor. Second is the oxygen recycle facility. Third is food prep. Fourth is the common room. And fifth is pest control. Immediately going into the second room, you find another entry from Keely.
This level seems to be devoted to a study of atmospheric effects on plants, with the concentration of producing plants with high oxygen yield. Given the problems these vaults were known to have, it sounds like it was a reasonable avenue of research.
Here's where it all goes to shit. It goes cocks up because little did they know that having big bombs drop all over your plants might have some kind of astronomical effect. And as you start walking down, you've got big ginormous mantises pecking your fucking eyes out. And then there's this dark moss gathered around trees, and you notice a little bit of movement. You go down to look. Got you, motherfucker. I surprise you like a sponsor in this video. No way, right? Yep, we are sponsored by Mr. House. He says, if you give me 1 like, I'm allowed to go back to the strip. Please, I need to play again.
I finally found some bodies of the scientists that used to live here. They appear to be overgrown, with some kind of lichen. They blend in so well with all the other things grown, I nearly walked past them. I've taken proper precautions, but lichen doesn't really seem to affect a ghoul.
Now it makes sense, right? Why I've done Keely as a ghoul. One step ahead of the game. And unfortunately, there's no more words from Keely until we find her. She doesn't put anything else in the dock. She gets stuck somewhere. I think it's down past pest control into the caves. We go to the food preparation center, and there's a few terminals. This is from the scientist's perspective of trying to figure out what is going on before the big catastrophe happened. Yields continue to improve. Splicing together cultivar GN188 with the exposing corn samples, we have produced a hybrid response that is better than any artificial light we have. Creating light in the vault. Artificial to create growth. Sounds a little sus to me, mate. Side note, Dr. Peters has missed his first straight day due to some kind of illness. His work ethic hasn't really been like this before. Seeking confirmation for him to go to a clinic to see if it's okay. But little did they know that these plants were fucking him up. And it wasn't just Dr. Peters. There was a lot of other scientists getting ill over this. Why? Well, it was like that one little prick on the plane. You know, the one that sneezes before you all go on holiday. Now it's started to ventilate the entire aerocraft. No, aerocraft? That sounds about right. And what ends up happening, you all walk out the plane, and then 2 days later, boom, you're all fucking sick. And this is exactly what was happening here. They had it in the oxygen facility center, these plants. Everything's overgrowing, everything is producing natural light, and it's growing at a good rate. But what ends up happening, it is starting to ventilate the entire system. People are thinking it's some kind of weird gas smell that's making them feel sick, but no, it's these plants. And then over a period of time, it gets drastically worse. They go to the 4th level, bring Dr. Peters, because he's in some kind of critical state. And it's at this point that the changes start to begin. Dr. Peters goes through a period of passing. Everyone thinks he's dead, and then for 1 second he starts twitching, raises himself back up again, and goes into some kind of feral state. And this is starting to cause a lockdown in the vault. And now, if Doctor was the first, there was more to come. And these moss piles that started moving weren't just ghouls or infested mutations of some kind of monster that was already there. These were the scientists that have been overgrown by nature and become these feral beings. And there's only one thing to do. We've got to find Keely.
You found me. Thank you.
But that's neither here nor there. These plants have gotten completely out of control. I've got a plan to deal with them, but I'll need your help. Good. Meet me on the 2nd level, and I'll explain what needs to be done.
Find Keely. She turns out to be working for the NCR, which we already knew, but it was nice to know that she still has an agenda here. She wants to get the data, and she wants to eradicate it indefinitely, but she was currently held by ginormous mantises. She asks you, can you follow her and help her blow up the entire facility?
Exposure to oxygen, meaning the gas will have to be ignited close to where it's being introduced.
need to pump gas into the ventilation, be able to light it, and then that means we could get rid of all the spores. We don't want anything else growing. So at this point, I'm literally just sniffing around for gas. Like I don't know about you, I spent a good hot minute looking for gas on this point. You find it, you make your call. A few attempts of throwing it and it's getting exploded, realizing you need to leg it out of there. We have to fucking run. You blow up the gas chamber. Keely is happy, tells you you have two options here. You could either give the data back to Keely and we eradicate it indefinitely. No one needs to know about these spores, this kind of operation. It's not good for anyone's hands. Or we give it back to the NCR. And this is where the story of Vault 22 ends. An interesting tale, not about murder. It's about growth, literally. Would Dr. Thomas and the NCR used it for the right reasons? Would they have tried to enhance the operation, which was becoming fresh food, fresh oxygen, clean water? Or would they try to use it as some kind of chemical warfare against the Caesar's Legion? What's your thoughts? I'll see you in the next one.